in schlechten Zeiten zueinander stehen. FC Bayern, deutscher Meister, ja so heißt mein Verein. Ja so war es und so ist es und so wird es immer sein. Wo wird lauschend angegriffen, wo wird täglich spioniert? Wo ist Presse, wo ist Rummel, wo wird immer diskutiert? Wer spielt in jedem Stadion vor ausverkauftem Haus? Wer hält den großen Druck der Gegner stets aufs Neue aus? FC Bayern, Stern des Südens, du wirst niemals untergehen, weil wir in guten wie in schlechten Zeiten zueinander stehen. FC Bayern, deutscher Meister, ja so heißt mein Verein. Ja so war es und so ist es und so wird es immer sein. Ob Bundesliga, im Pokal oder Champions League, wer gibt es denn was Schöneres als einen Bayern-Sieg? Hier ist Leben, hier ist Liebe, hier ist Freude und auch Leid. Bayern München, Deutschlands Bester, bis in alle Ewigkeit. FC Bayern, Stern des Südens.
Jetzt habe ich eigentlich erwartet, dass du, Sebastian, mindestens noch weiter mitsingst hier.
Ich kann leider nicht so gut singen wie du.
But we have to switch into English anyway. We have an international audience here. So, Sebastian, what you just heard was the song, the anthem of FC Bayern Munich, ladies and gentlemen. And this is something I bet everybody here who is from Bayern. I saw Christina from Munich. She was like, yes, this is my song. Everybody knows. Everybody can probably sing along. And we are going to get into the MindSphere Open Space Challenge with FC Bayern as our client with a use case. But like we said before, we have a special treat for our audience, right?
Exactly.
So
We do have a jersey from FC Bayern Munich that is signed by Müller. Who knows Müller?
all hands up. Yep, all
So
hands
there's
up.
At least a few. Why the colleagues here from China? You not know Müller? Oh, you're Japanese, okay. But you know Müller. Okay. So then, as we just said, we will ask you a question now.
So do you have a question?
Yeah, and it's actually a tricky one.
Uh-oh.
So let's see how long it will take.
So Sebastian's going to ask the question, and if you can answer, give us the correct answer, you win the jersey.
Okay, you ready to go? Okay. Who scored the first goal in the Champions League final in 2013? No, that's unfortunately not correct, but we're getting closer. Who? No, not Lewandowski. No, not Hummels. I told you, it's a tricky one. Who was that? Mandzukic it was. Yes, absolutely. Come here.
Congratulations. Give it a big round of applause. Listeners, so how did you come up with the answer now? You had to Google for a while?
Wikipedia.
Oh, yeah, I thought so.
Of course.
So his internet was the fastest, I guess. So congratulations, and have fun with the jersey. All right. So thank you, Sebastian, for being the quiz master. Now come inside. We're going to start now with the MindSphere Open Space Challenge with Bayern Munich as our client. And this is very interesting because Bayern Munich basically said, hey, we have this use case. We need a solution. We don't have the right solution yet. Usually Bayern always has solutions to everything, right? In this case, they asked us, Siemens MindSphere, hey, can you come up with something to help us out with what we're going to introduce in a couple of moments with our problem? And on the other side, we have developer teams from all around the world who are able to submit their ideas, their solutions to this problem. And we've invited the best ones here today to present their ideas to FC Bayern. And the winner will be able to work together with FC Bayern to create the perfect solution for their problem. Isn't that something? That's what the MindSphere Open Space Challenge is about. We're going to open the next round. We have a jury consisting of very competent gentlemen here sitting on the sides, who I'll introduce also in a couple of moments. But first, we want to watch a quick video from FC Bayern to get you in the right mood and to introduce the client. So let's go for it.
What makes the heart of FC Bayern beat? It's the ones who work on ideas that change the game. It's the coaches developing the lawn chess or the possession-based combination game. It's the players who invented the libero. They revolutionized goalkeeping and became space investigators. It's the giants who conquered new ground and the air. It's the millions of fans, the inventors of cheers and chants. And then there are the ingenious ones who delve into the details to make things better and better. They reinvent the grass for the perfect pitch and pioneer mobility, safety, and power supply solutions. Digital wizards combine the virtual and the real world to change the game. They create new possibilities and transform shoes into goal-scoring weapons. Yes, ingenuity can create legends, goosebumps, miracles, and unforgettable magic. It can create absolute madness. Siemens, ingenuity for life.
Please welcome the new business manager at FC Bayern, Thomas Ehrmann. Thomas.
Yeah, thank you very much for the introduction. It's a pleasure to be here. Probably I don't need to tell you what we are, who we are, and what we do. We are one of the biggest sports clubs in the world with 290,000 club members. With respect to that, actually we're the biggest club in the world. We strive for success in the national and international competitions, but also off-pitch. We want to work very professionally, to work with the best partners, the industry leaders in the respective branches, and that's why it's a perfect example to work on co-innovations with Siemens, with the interesting project Greenkeeper app.
So tell us what this challenge is about. What are you actually looking for?
Yeah, so as I said, for us it's very important it's our goal to hire the best players in the world. And for them we want to provide the best conditions. We want to provide the best green in our stadium. And therefore we developed the Greenkeeper app in order to support our greenkeeper to care the green in the best possible way. And with this Greenkeeper app, with the sensors of Siemens, we can gather information with respect to humidity, light, temperature of the green, and evaluate this in the mind sphere and give our greenkeepers helpful information in order to care the green in the best way he can.
And is it right that FC Bayern basically kind of hosted a hackathon already for another use case? Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Actually, we staged a hackathon in January in the Allianz-Arena. We had 220 participants from over 40 nations for 4 days in Munich, working on new ideas, on new projects in order to create benefits for our fans and for our club using artificial intelligence, using blockchain, virtual reality. And that's why I'm very curious what you guys have developed for us in order to optimize, diversify the Greenkeeper app. And I'm very curious what you have prepared for us.
And I guess that was a pretty good experience. Otherwise, you would have said, when you heard about the challenge, nah. I guess in this case, you are looking forward to a nice solution, and pretty sure we're going to give it to you. So, Thomas, first of all, thank you very much for the introduction. Maybe you want to take a seat over the jury spot. Thomas Ehrmann, new business manager at Bayern. Who else is part of the jury? We have our Head of Marketing from MindSphere, Sebastian Wolf, of course, with us here today again. Sebastian,
Yes.
nice to have you again. Then also from our MindSphere partner, Microsoft, Ingo Oppelt, nice to have you. From our MindSphere partner, Evosoft, we have Lars Ointzen. And also from Siemens MindSphere, Florian Beil, once again. Great to have you back. So, gentlemen, you are going to fire out questions in a couple of moments right over to our developers who are probably already pretty nervous. Kind of shaky. No need to be. I mean, this is a great opportunity, on the one side, for the developers to present their ideas and themselves to a broader audience, but also, of course, for our clients to be able to choose from a variety of different solutions. And you at home, you have the chance to vote for your favorite team. Go to siemens.com/vote now, and after each pitch, you will be able to vote for your favorite team. And but I'll be giving you that hint every now and then as we go along. 15 minutes of time for each team to pitch, 7 minutes to present, 8 minutes of Q&A. That's as simple as it is, and at the end of the day, the best team wins. So, let's start it off with the first developer team from Trevisto. Here are Jonas Haag and Jens Horstmann. Welcome. Welcome. So, yeah, where you want? You go in the middle. There we go. This is your spot. So, gentlemen, are you nervous or are you cool?
It's okay.
It's okay. It's somewhere in the middle.
Yes.
Somewhere in the middle. But no worries, no worries. I'm pretty sure as soon as you start going along, everything will be fine. Tell us a bit about your company, Trevisto.
Trevisto is a company making something like business models, smart services based on analytics. Our core competence is analytics. We do it with machine data like Industry 4.0, stuff like that. And we do it with about 40 employees.
14?
40.
40 employees.
Yes.
Where are you based in?
In Nuremberg and Berlin.
Okay, so right around the corner. Be quick to have a quick coffee here now and then. But first of all, we want to see what you have to offer, and then I'll be back when we start with the questions. Go for it.
Okay. Welcome. I'm very proud to be here today and present our pitch for Allianz-Arena. We are a company doing analytics, and so the first question some of you could have, what the hell do you do with grass? And it's very easy. We already do a case like this for Golf Club Abenberg to improving the grass, and my colleague did it in a former company a lot of times, projects like this, just with other plants like grass. So what is the basic idea we have, or one of the two ideas we have? The one is we take a drone, fly over the grass with a special camera, with a multispectral camera, and this camera can see in the grass. So most sensors Bayern Munich uses now just measures the environment of the grass, but it does not know if it's ill. If you remember, for example, your mom told you when you was young that you will become ill when you did not feel it, and it's something like this. He can explain that a little bit more detailed to you, and the technical background of this view.
Thank you, Jens. So I'm going to start with a quick bit of turf theory. So here on the bottom we see our green, and now we need some external factors like sunlight, the right temperature, precipitation, water, and cultivation, like fertilizer and so on. And then the grass will stay green. And what is interesting is that we have our sunlight that goes that shines onto the grass, and photosynthesis absorbs light, so that a different light spectrum is reflected from the grass. And that means that we can build a delta from the input spectrum and the reflected spectrum of visible and invisible light waves. And that allows us to calculate a plant health index. So I'm going to show you how that works. Let's see, the plant health index is just fine. All the parameters are okay. Now let's say one day the sun doesn't shine as much as we need it in the arena. So our plant health index will turn the color because the reflected light will change. let's say the next day we don't have enough water additionally to the missing light, so our plant health index will change again, and that means for the greenkeeper that he has to act, that he has to water the plants, and if he doesn't, the grass will get a disease or go yellow. So how do we plan to implement that at Allianz-Arena? As we have heard, there's already a MindSphere in place with a lot of sensors for light, for temperature, for humidity. And there's also some kind of automation already in place. So what we add is our drone with the multispectral camera to get us the footage that we need for the plant health index. And rainwater sensors to better understand the nutrient flow, and environmental sensors to understand the climate in the arena. All this data goes into the MindSphere wirelessly, and there we have our Trevisto MindSphere app that will calculate the plant health index to give us a more precise automation for the illumination, the fertilization, the mowing and the irrigation. And we also have our Greenkeeper app for manual advice. So the Greenkeeper app will work based on the plant health index and give you an overview over all the Bayern Muenchen playgrounds, so that the Greenkeeper also can plan the next training camp in Qatar, for example, by just sending the drone there. And he has the possibility to drill down onto one playing field, and there he can use the plant health index again in the field for hotspots, so where he knows, where he can see how to act. So that's good for the Greenkeeper, but also his staff. They can use augmented reality to see in place what they could do, and as we have their automated equipment, we can use the app to control the equipment in real time. So what are your benefits of this first step right now? You will get continuous high quality on all the playgrounds. You will get input savings for fertilizer, water, and energy. You will get optimized maintenance due to the improved app for the Greenkeeper, and Allianz-Arena can go more eco-friendly due to the saved inputs. And for our future vision, I will give back to Jens.
Yeah. What we had in the first step was what you can do more or less immediately. But if you want to make something like more predictions, something was missing. We need labeled data for it. And if we just start collecting data, we don't have it. Data results what happened if you do this or that. So if we mix the labeled data or make labeled data out of the historical data after running our system for 3 or 6 or 9 months, then we can use artificial intelligence, like, for example, reinforcement learning, to build or to gather more benefits. So we have an enhanced app who can do a lot of more stuff. And then we can do something like building a digital twin of Allianz-Arena, or and then we have the chance to see, make something like a prediction of diseases, like if these conditions are for that time in that area, the danger of something like snow mold or rust goes up. Further resource optimization is possible, and another thing, the climate into a stadium is different from outside. The grass grows different under the same conditions as far as we can measure. And with something like that, we can measure this, we can understand this, and perhaps get even there better results.
20 more seconds.
We are through now. We don't need it. We can perhaps use it to wish Bayern Munich on Tuesday the very, very best in Madrid.
All right, that's a nice closing sentence there. So, are you soccer fans?
Yeah, Bayern Munich, since I'm 6.
All right, all right. I guess that's a good prerequisite. So, what can we hear from the jury?
Okay, first of all, thank you for this great presentation. So FC Bayern is a hard topic for me as well. So it was hard to see the loss on Wednesday, but as you rightly said, they will manage on Tuesday next week. That's for sure.
Correct.
Okay,
Hopefully.
I have a couple of questions. So number one would be the drone that you showed. Did you develop that yourself? Is this something that you built?
No, it's a drone that you can buy on the market. So all the equipment is buyable. It exists already.
Okay. All right. And so you using the information from this drone and implement this into your application or into your analytic services. Okay.
Yeah.
So a second question would be, we built an own app for FC Bayern already. So now you showed a second app. What we don't want is basically a confusion between many apps now for the same greenkeeper team, right? How would you see this being either integrated into our application, or do you strive to promote your app over ours?
I think it's depending. You have to see. We don't know the app you have. We don't know how you can enhance it, or if it's easier just to build up the functionality. But you are absolutely right. It would be crazy to have two apps, and the one says 20 liters in that corner, and the other said, oh no, it's 30, and nobody knows what to do. So we have to have one app to control the grass.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for the presentation. Very interesting. My question would be, do you record the footage via the drone the whole year, 24/7? And how do you extract data out of the video footage?
Okay, so we don't record video footage. We make photos, and that are then stitched in the MindSphere for a big picture. And we don't record it 24/7. We look at special cases, for example, before and after maintenance, like before mowing and after mowing, or before a game, after a game. So we try to identify the key influences on the grass, on the turf.
Okay, because due to DFL regulations, you can't not record footage on match days, so that's actually not an issue then. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, just another question from my side. So I understood that there's also artificial intelligence built in. So help me understand how you would train that and how much data you would need for that in order to get correct results.
That's an interesting question. There's something we will have to learn too, because we don't know how much data sets and incidents we get, because for artificial intelligence you need incidents which shows the network that it's right or wrong, or this was good and this was bad. So this is something, I said something between 3 and 9 months, because we actually can't see it, and we can improve it after a year, because there will be influence of winter and summer and stuff like that, because all the unnatural heating and something will have an influence on it. We still don't know. So it will get better and better, but I think between 3 and 6 months we will have the first improvements by the artificial intelligence.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much for, first of all, for the challenge. I mean, didn't know the importance of the green before, but also thank you very much for the really exciting presentation. I mean, I could tell that you're really expert on that topic. And I was wondering, you in the beginning, and that's to me also important, you mentioned a proof point, another project where you've got some experience from. Can you maybe just elaborate a little bit on how much was a performance increase, or how much was a greenkeeper from this other project or from this other stadium then able to keep the green better?
We don't have performance indicators yet. We started the project. We have first data from it, so we know that we can use the data. We know how to handle the data, which comes out of the drone, or we have a software after the drone who just interprets the pictures and give us something like a vector map with measures. And so we're in the proof of concept, and we are not finished yet. So we don't have results yet. But we know it works from projects before with other plants, that you really get a big impact on it by this, on the saving side and on the better growth side.
So first of all, thank you very much for your very insightful presentation. I'm personally no expert in drones, so maybe you can help me out here. I got a question, who has to operate a drone? Is it the greenkeeper who has to fly the drone? Is it automated?
It's automated.
It's automated.
Drone
Okay.
automatically finds the right, like we set it up for the resolution that we need, and then it automatically flies in the right way.
Okay, thank you. And I got another question. You have like this central key performance indicator, the plant health index, that tells you like overall how the quality of the pitch is. Based on this KPI, how can you derive what is missing? I mean, you see it's yellow, then it's bad. Yeah, I got this. But how do you give recommendations, for example, to the greenkeeper on how to improve the quality to get it to a better level?
Okay, so there we really have to learn a bit more about the green in the stadium. So we would do that together with the greenkeeper. We would need his advice and his experience to improve, and then our neural network can learn in the future about the combination of different factors and how they maybe get more experience than the greenkeeper on the combination of the factors and give us a different advice so that then we can discuss it with the greenkeeper.
The basic thing is that if water is missing, the spectral which is reflected is different from if fertilizer is missing. And by that you can see it, but you have to, depending on the grass, there's so much influences like the kind of grass and so on. So for a time you have to learn how this grass in this climate reacts on missing stuff.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, so I would have another question here. So I like the idea of this light and the different spectrum. That's really cool. How do you consider to integrate other information from weather forecasting services or French forecasting services, this kind of things? Is this on your agenda, and if so, which?
Yeah, we want to for sure use all sensors which are already there, because they are very helpful to get a better result. And a weather forecast, for example, is very good, for example, to decide we don't put so much water on the grass because today it will rain very heavy and stuff like that. So all an environmental thing we want to use, it's water, it's temperature, it's wind and all the stuff, because it will all have influence on what happens in the stadium.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any further questions right now? So I think no. And with this, thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you to our first team, Trevisto, Jonas and Jens. Thank you.
Thanks.
Much luck, and your chance now and your time to vote. So once again, the address is siemens.com/vote now. Have you done it yet, Fabrizio? Throughout the week? Have you? No? Haven't voted yet? Now is the time to vote. Here we have some flyers laying out with the QR code. To scan it, and it will bring you direct to the voting site. So, Sebastian, just I didn't mean to interrupt. I know you have a lot to talk about. Important topic, of course, to find the right developer team here. But did you play soccer once yourself?
Yes, I did years back, and then I had a girlfriend, and I stopped.
Oh, really? That's usually probably the difference between the pros and the ones that, you know, at some point they're pretty good, but...
But I still play on my PlayStation.
Hey,
That's
how good are you there?
still going on.
You know, they actually have professional leagues.
I do.
Meanwhile, I don't know if they have it for a soccer league, but I saw.
I think even FC Bayern has they have like an online team playing soccer, right?
No, we're not active in esports so far. But in FIFA or Pro Evolution Soccer, you can pick FC Bayern and play with your heroes, with your stars. We have cooperation with EA Sports.
So that's what you should do. Always pick FC Bayern when you're playing a video game. Simple as that. Now, let's move on to our next team from Digitalisiere Jetzt 42 GmbH. Please welcome Daniel Kalwitzki. Welcome, Daniel.
Thank you.
Now, we've known each other. We walked today from the hotel over to the fairgrounds. How have you enjoyed the day so far?
Yeah, it was really a nice site, nice people around.
And now you're going to present your solution. I see you brought something along there also.
Yeah, you'll see later.
We'll see
what it's
later.
about.
Okay. Tell us one or two infos about your company. How long does it exist? Who are the owners? And what is your core competence?
So actually, we were founded about 2 months ago now. So
2 months ago?
2 months ago. So
Okay.
really at the startup. Right now, I'm the CEO and founder of the company. Got a lot of people in the queue to be hired. And yeah, right now in the setup and all this marketing stuff, and that's all what's coming up if you found a company.
Wow, 2 months. Fresh like a fresh soccer green.
Yeah.
Now, 7 minutes
is.
for you. Time is up now.
All right. I'm Daniel, as you already heard, and I want to talk about Grass Goes Green, Smart. And for sure we talk about IoT. And if we talk about IoT, then everything is about sensors, it's about analytics, it's about data acquisition, all this stuff. And I thought, okay, we talk now about grass, about lawn, and not a stadium. So my thought was, why not make the grass smart? And that's why I call this smart lawn. Because it's actually not a separate sensor you would place on top or something else. But I thought about how to make the grass itself self-containing. And so I designed this sheet and also this 3D model. Just to explain a little bit more. So if you go up from the top, then you see the lawn. And underneath there's the earth. And the special is there's one sensor half, which is in the earth. Then it comes a flexible barrier, which water can pass through it. And underneath, there's the second half of the sensor to measure the moisture in the earth directly. And for watering, for watering, you flood the completely lawn from underneath until the water comes to the earth. And if it's raining, for sure, you will deflood the watering area, so you open the vents, and so the water can flood out of it. That's all. Underneath there is also some space for sure for equipment and also for the electronics and the valves to put in water or drop it out. And then I thought about, okay, we need data acquisition for sure because it's IoT. And I just read in the internet, okay, how big is a soccer playground? And I thought, okay, that's quite interesting for a German for sure, because there is no real measurement for a playground. There's just a set from min to max, which is about 4 times higher than the max and the minimum is. So I said, okay, you could not go there with let's say a standardized setup with bus systems where there are sensors in X and apps. Will just not work. And so I said, okay, why not place the real small micro device into this smart lawn, send it over via wireless LAN to MindSphere, all the data we will collect there. But why don't we do it per square meter? And so that's what it comes up. It's a 1 square meter device directly connected to the wireless LAN, sending up the data to the MindSphere, but it will water from underneath, and so it's totally a unit. So what data values could be taken from this device for sure? For sure we could measure the temperatures from underneath because we have the microchip directly in place there. We can measure the moisture from underneath. And we could also, for example, measure the pressure on a player on a game and measure how many people were on this 1 square meter in the game to help the greenkeeper to find the places that are highly, or where the quality grown because so many people were on there. So you can say, okay, this square meter where the most people were on there, just have a look and have a look if it's good or not. I thought, okay, chlorophyll and sun conditions could be measured by optical systems. And for sure, the weather conditions can come from the internet. So it takes me to what type of displays could we then do. This is just a simplified view of a control center view for this app that would be then there, because it should be about, I calculated, more than 7,000 data values in a green, because it's 7,000 square meters, depending on how big the field is. And for sure, you could also have a display for the locker, for example, to tell the players, okay, the grass is wet right now, be calm, or choose the right equipment for it, just not to hurt the lawn anymore. And if it's good, you could, for example, use smaller stats under your shoes because you won't slide that much. So what are the benefits? For sure, benefits seen from the lawn side. It's self-sufficient. You would not need to plug in sensors manually, like bringing something onto the field and putting it there, leaving it there for an hour to measure some values, because it would be all in this plate. And for example, you could even have it that you don't need watering manually with anything above. I saw this, I don't know the word for it, but these machines that will water the lawn. You could do it from underneath. You could even do it in a game, and you could also drop the water in a game if it gets too wet. And benefits from the team side, for sure you could use fitting equipment for the best grip. Could be for sure be an advantage if only your players know it and not the other ones. And for example, because this is soft, if you have a phase where there's no real game for about, I don't know if it's really suitable, but for 3 months no real game, you could replace this one and would get softer to protect the players' joints and to help them to be a little bit more healthy, because I get they are the real budget of the company FC Bayern. All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. Daniel. That's I think, a very interesting approach also. Why don't you step a bit closer to the jury? I see Thomas has a question already. Can't wait to fire it off.
Yeah, thank you very much for your presentation. Very interesting, very innovative. I have one question. It seems to be a little bit costs. There are a lot of costs are affected by that. Do you have any calculations done what the costs are?
Right now I have no calculations, but what I can tell you that the electronic part in general could be really cheap. The advantage of this measurement thing is that if something in the field would break, it would not break the whole field, but just a small, 1 square meter. And so you can get really cheap electronics that could also push the data to a MindSphere and just replace this 1 square meter if it breaks. And so it would be not that expensive like you think.
But the initial implementation costs would be higher, right? Like you have to remove the green completely in order to install?
I think it's just a matter of the size and how many greens you have. So if you can produce them in probably a lot of parts of this 1 square meter thing would be way cheaper. But yeah, the initial would be quite high. At the second one, if you get to replace the green after some time, for example, you could just plug it out with these and replace the green, and you leave the basement in there.
Okay, thank you.
Next question.
So also, thank you very much from my side. And really astonishing that you just for 1 month found it and now you're here with that idea. I'm just wondering, I mean, you mentioned already that you're just about to hire more people, but this idea probably you have discussed with other people, and you explained very well the different components, and I'm just wondering, so many different areas. Not just one man can be an expert in all that areas. So with whom have you shared, and where do you get your expertise that you're convinced that you can provide additional insights to the greenkeeper that he doesn't have today? I mean, not on exchanging something what is existing,
Sure.
but maybe first improving a little bit what is already there.
So actually I did, in the past I did some things with water measurements, I did electronics, I did IoT, all in this. And also for sure I do app applications for 15 years now. So that's not my most challenge. The most challenging part was the botanics part. And that's where I also took some people from my surrounding, from the botanics maker scene in Berlin, and asked them, okay, if there's something that could work, do you think it could work? And everybody told me, okay, it could work and it will work.
Next.
Yeah, just one question, and just to be sure that I understood it. So this is not only a metering system, but it also includes the irrigation, right?
Yeah, it is.
So can you locally variate then the amount of water you put on a certain spot, or is that?
If you have the right ones, you could do it. You could also do, for example, a virtualization mixing within from underneath and per square meter. And what I like the most, for sure not for FC Bayern the case, but what I like the most is I could also have it on my balcony.
Okay.
That's totally modular.
Okay.
Sebastian?
So I have a question here about what would be your role? Do you see yourself more on the implementation side of the sensors? Is it about the data that you then retrieve? So I kind of didn't get that clearly, so maybe you can tell me that.
So if we would do this case, my role would be, part of, for sure, app development and also sensor development, but I'm more like the project lead from our side then, because there are also some specialists I can take in, for example, for the embedded stuff. Then it would be more the project lead. Okay. So the project owner or whatever you call it.
Okay. I really like the concept. I mean, let grass grow through the sensors and let the sensors be where they should be. I totally love this. My question is, how would you see this implementing in Allianz-Arena? I mean, this is really tough. You need to remove everything in the infrastructure. Maybe let him answer first, because I'm really curious about that.
Yeah, it would be a bit challenging for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, as you said, to be honest, we removed the green once in a while. So this would be an opportunity to implement your technology.
Yeah, sure.
But otherwise, the costs would be really high.
Lars, did you have a question?
No, thanks. I think everything got answered.
Okay.
So then I have a final one. What's your business model behind that?
Behind this idea?
Yes.
I really think about, or a little bit about, having it in the private sector, because I really like the idea a lot, and I will build it actually. No matter if we come into contact or not, I think I will build it because I really like the idea to have it on my balcony or even in my living room.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Big round of applause. Daniel Kalwicki, congratulations, a nice presentation. And also that is something you have to bring along as an entrepreneur, confidence, yeah? And to have a plan, no matter if one client wants it or not, I'm going to build it anyway. I like the attitude. If you want to vote for him, go to siemens.com/vote now. How's everybody doing? You guys still awake? Yeah. Wow, that was energy. Are you guys still awake? Give me yeah. That's Siemens. Okay, to the end. We're not at the end yet. We're just halfway through here. We still have 2 teams to go. Are you guys cool with your water and stuff? You need a coffee, anything? No? Some jelly beans we can get you? You got a whole can over there. Okay, so we're going to move on. If you're watching now at home or you just tuned in, once again, the MindSphere Open Space Challenge with our client FC Bayern, looking for the best solution. Third team up on stage now is from Siemens BT LLC. Please welcome Alexander Nevrovsky.
Hello.
Welcome, Alexander.
Yes, hello.
So tell us a bit about, you're part of the family, so to say, right? what exactly do you do at Siemens?
I work in Siemens Building Technologies department. We produce products and solutions for automation of building systems, like this expo center, for example,
Okay.
for climate and for security.
And where are you from? Where are you based?
I'm from Moscow. My previous job was in marketing team and business development. Right now, I work close with the key clients of our department in Russia.
And how do you like FC Bayern München?
What do you mean?
The football club.
This year we will have FIFA in Russia. So right now I'm more about our team in Russia.
I absolutely understand that. So good answer. So you have 7 minutes now, and then we'll be back.
Okay, hello everybody. My name is Alexander Nevrovsky, and I try to implement client's problem and data-driven approach during my work on this case. First of all, I try to understand what is the main problems which we have here. I saw two main problems here. Problem number one is untransparency. It's untransparency of grass management. Of course, there is a professional greenkeeper, but all information, all data or experience, all his decisions are stored inside his mind, and there is no access to it from the stadium management team. So problem number two, by my opinion, is a standard problem for any kind of business. It's about marginality. Because field is an asset, it should generate margin. And there are only two ways for do it, to increase revenue and to decrease expenses. So I try to understand how we can use data to resolve both problems in one time. First of all, there are several main procedures which usually should be taken with the field. It's artificial lighting, artificial watering, it's fertilization, protection from diseases, and treatment from diseases if protection does not work by any cases. So each of these operations should to be done on the special amount of information, and more than it, during his job, each of operation generate a new amount of information which should to be storage some there for next iterations. So idea is to understand what information we should measure on the field. I think that we should measure air temperature and air humidity, ground temperature and ground humidity, grass length, measure also very important, lighting level, and level of chemical elements inside the ground, because it's very important for protection from diseases. So how to do it? I see two variants here. Variant number one is cheaper and simple. Variant number two is more expensive, but it is more professional. Variant number one is to use standard already existed engineering infrastructure of the field. Under the grass layer, there is a heating system, and we can measure the temperature of the field by installing sensor on the exit of the heating pipe, for example. Or we can make a connection to the heating system by software and take data out the system to MindSphere. And also under the heating system, there is a drainage system. It's 14 big pipes there, and we can put a sensor for measurement of chemical elements inside the water there. And after artificial watering process, water will go through the ground, and the amount of chemical elements inside the water would be the same like in the ground. So it's idea number one, but the weak point of such installation is that we will have the average amount of parameters. And idea number two, you already heard it. I propose to divide the field for 7,000 small pieces, 1 meter per 1 meter, and install 3 sensors under each piece of the field. It should be temperature sensor, humidity sensor, and of course chemical element sensor. The strong point of such installation will be that we can measure the parameters of each piece of the field. And it's very important because each piece has its own load during the game, and it means that each piece should have its own care after the game. But problem is that it will that Allianz-Arena management will have to buy 21,000 of sensors. But I make a calculation, so if you want, you can ask me a question after presentation. And also, second problem is that Allianz-Arena make a replacement of the field only one time per year. And if they want to do it immediately, they will have to pay additional 300,000 euro, by my estimation. So after sensor installation, we will connect them to Mind Connect Nano, for example, and we will send information to the mines here. And I think that in several minutes, we will have all parameters of the field on the screen. But what to do with data inside the mines here? By my own opinion, there is no appropriate application right now in the mines here for the grass management. So idea is to write from the scratch separate applications for each operation. So it should be separate application for lighting, separate for watering, for fertilization, protection, and treatment. And using this application, we will make the management of the field. In my full version of presentation, I showed the logic of each application, so you can see it maybe later. But the real magic will start in several months when we get the amount of data and we will have opportunity to make the digital twin of the field. It's very important because since that period, each operation will be firstly imitated inside the digital twin, and only after that we will be implemented inside the real field using right parameters. For example, here you can see the requirements of FIFA for the ground. It's easy to imitate the requirements inside the digital twin, and after that to make the real field, and it will decrease expenses very much. But another question is how to increase revenue. I see here two main ways. The number one is to change business model of Allianz-Arena from the real stadium operator to digital fields operator. And the second idea is to give access to digital twin for another companies. About way number one, for example, you can give access to Mind apps for another companies who also make management of fields, like for example, football fields, golf fields, polo, rugby, etc. And the idea is to give access on monthly payment based, so they will pay you money each month for the using of application. And more than it, some industries like agriculture industry can also use your application for fertilization, protection from diseases, and treatment from diseases. And that market is very, very huge. And another idea is to give access to digital twin, because right now it's a big problem to make a real ball, a good ball for playing. And the idea is if you have a digital twin of the field and if you have a digital twin of the ball, you can connect them in the computer and find the right parameters. And after that, it will be easy to design and produce. So you can sell the access to digital twin to Adidas, for example, like a producer of balls. And one additional point is to use digital twin also for some companies, Electronic Arts, for example, who produce FIFA 2018, for example. They can use data from the real field, implement it in the game, and increase gameplay, and increase value for the players. So I tried here to show how using data we can increase level of transparency, increase marginality for offline business like stadium management. Thank you very much for your attention.
Wow, Alexander. So, somebody with a clear vision of what to do, not only with the grass. Let's move on with some questions.
Okay, maybe I got the first one. So first of all, thank you for your very interesting presentation. I got a question concerning your case and the case we heard before, because they also wanted to install sensors under the lawn. What would be, in your own words, the key difference between your case and the case we've heard before?
It's easy. They want to install 7,000 sensors. I want 21,000 sensors. So the difference will be in price level.
I'm kidding. Frankly say, I want to install simple sensors from Siemens or another company and connect them to 9Connect box. So it will be a lot of sensors and maybe one or several boxes. As I understood the previous case, they want to implement the box, ready-to-use box, which will have access to MindSphere. In my case, it will be NanoConnect who will send information to MindSphere.
Okay, thank you.
Florian.
Probably just a follow-up question. So how do you connect then the sensors to the nanobox? How does the data reach the nanobox?
It's a really hard question because maybe not now, but in future I think we will have nano boxes with different protocols, for example. And this sensor has protocol, but of course the price of sensor with protocols usually higher than for analog or digital one. So maybe through thematic and then to the...
But you still would need a wiring then from the sensor to the...
Yes, it would be the wiring because it's cheaper, I think. But in future it can be wireless, for example.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, I have a couple of questions here to you too. So you said you want to develop single apps for these different topics. So why do you think it's better to have multiple apps than one?
I propose to develop this because you can sell access to each app for some kind of clients. It would be easy to make a future business if you can give access to one app for one company, for one sector, for another app, for another sector. Of course, you can sell the bundle of apps. So it's only for business and, of course, maybe for improving apps, because it's usually easy to improve something small than to work with the huge system.
Okay. Maybe another one. I like the idea of this digital field operator.
Business model.
As a business model. Maybe you want to talk a little bit more about the business model itself.
Yes, because right now Allianz-Arena is an operator of the physical stadium and physical field. But if they have information about their field, they can increase their experience in the field management, in the data point of view. So they can sell not only tickets for a lot of end users, B2C business, they can sell like B2B business for companies who also manage stadiums in the Germany or in the world, etc. So they will transfer their offline operation to the new digital space, because in future I think all business will be in digital, and some company, we don't know what would be the company, will do this business of field management in digital.
And you see FC Bayern being the operator then of this?
Yes, like an additional business.
Further questions?
Yeah, so this is a quite business-driven approach. So did I understand it correct that you want to sell white label solutions to other football clubs, but also do you want to sell historical data and know-how about carrying of the green to maybe competitors?
It's a complicated question, yes. Maybe not know-how, but you can also have your team who make installation and your greenkeepers, for example, and take stadiums for grass management. You would not share your experience, but they will have good grass on their stadiums, and they will pay for you, not for the experience, just for grass.
Alexander, thank you very much for your presentation. I actually also like the business model. So I'm showing that you're thinking ahead about just a challenge. But coming back to the initial question on how we can improve the existing app. And to me also the difference between these three we heard today, the first one was kind of indirect, through the image, where you don't have to do anything with the green. And the second and yours would be that you implement additional sensors to that. So my question would be, you mentioned you was building technologies. The other speaker had already a model there, so we could imagine that he was working with that. What kind of proof points, references do you have from other clients, or have you some examples where you can say, okay, we do really have that experience and can start discussing about quotes, time, how long it would take. That would be helpful to understand. Was it doing that for the first time, or have you done that before?
Right now, we do not have minds here in building of technologies. We are more about engineering systems, and we have our own cloud-based system for remote control of ventilation. So if we speak about this case, we do not have such experience, unfortunately. But I think that in future we will have something, because technology is developing, and we will not propose physical products in several years. We will propose a service like a good climate in the building, and clients would not care how we do it. They will just buy a good temperature and humidity, that's all.
Okay, I have another question about because you said you did a calculation, so what would be the cost?
Yes, if you will sell mind apps only for FIFA stadiums by 300 euro per 1 month, you will return your investment for grass replacement during 1 year. And if you increase the monthly payment up to 400 euro, you will also return money for 21,000 sensors installation, simple sensor installation.
We still have 1 more minute.
And 400 for the big stadium, it's not a big money.
Okay, so if we have another minute, then
Yes.
I have another question, because I really like the idea about this transferring this information from the real pitch into a FIFA game, for instance, yeah, as you said. So I think that's really cool. So would you think about charging EA for using this data
Yes, of course.
to have this information in the game?
Yes, of course, because it's about business model, and I think that a lot of games fans who want to play in the UEFA Championship final at the same time, like a real match goes. And maybe they want another team to win, and they will do it at the same time in the gameplay.
Okay, so then I have another question just from a company's point of view, because now you're a Siemens employee. Would you build this up as your own business?
Right now, I do not have access to mines here, but maybe in future somewhere. Why not? Why not?
Okay, thank you.
All right, time is up. Let's give it up one more time for Alexander Nerovsky from Siemens.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alexander. Great presentation. Yeah, very interesting also to see, where the ideas might lead to, what the ideas might lead to. When did grass become so complicated, though?
Actually, it started a year ago, a little bit more than a year ago. I was visiting FC Bayern Munich for a match where we wanted to discuss about digitalization, and they had an issue with their heating system for the pitch. So they had to switch from the water heating system to an electrical heating system, which caused a high cost impact for FC Bayern Munich. And this is actually where the discussion started. And we said, look, if we can predict things, and a lot of things can be connected today. If we can predict a pump to fail, why not look into the grass and see what we can do to predict failures or diseases in the grass?
Interesting.
Yes, yeah, the whole world is going digital. Why not the green? And this is the most important surface for the players. So it's very important to have the best quality in place for them.
Well, we'll see. Let's see what our fourth team has for a solution. And this is going to be also something special, a premiere. We're going to link live to, I think he's in India. Is that correct? Yes, he is. Via Skype. He should be connected to us now. Here is Durgesh Tamhan. Do you hear us?
Durgesh Tamhane. Yeah, I can hear you.
Great. All right, let's wave. Let's say hi here from Siemens, from the Hannover Messe.
Hey, guys.
All right. So tell us a bit about your company.
So I am no company. I'm just a student in India. I'm doing my PhD first year in electrical engineering in IIT Bombay. This opportunity came to me while I was searching for an internship in IoT area. And I saw this as something that I had already used or tried to use before with plants. So I thought, why not apply something here? This is just an idea for a sensor, not exactly for the software.
Okay.
So let's see how it goes.
And just tell us real quick, how long did you have time to work on your idea, on your solution?
10 hours around.
10 days? 10 hours?
Yeah.
10 hours?
Yeah.
Wow, okay. In 10 hours. Well, you have 7 minutes now, Durgesh. Make the most of it.
Yeah, there I go. Is my screen visible? So this is an e-green keeper that I had ideated for Allianz grass that goes smart. As I've already given my introduction, I'll proceed. So turf health monitoring is basically you have the plant, which is the grass, which obviously itself gives clues about onset of diseases or what goes wrong with it. So if you see the texture, its water consumption or its color, these are some markers of disease. As previous competitors also said, that if the color changes from one color to another, you know that there is something wrong. That's how the competent e-green keeper, rather the green keeper, sees these plants going wrong or not. If you have sensors hooked up to monitor these kind of markers and also sensors to monitor soil temperature, salinity, moisture content, you can identify the turf's health. These inferences should be at least as good as a competent greenkeeper, like the individual in the lawn. Like until now, without the sensors, the greenkeeper is the one who maintains the quality of the grass. And it's known that those, obviously, seeing these many football matches, you know that those guys are good. So the sensors that you deploy and the analysis that you do should be as good as the greenkeeper. One way of conventionally addressing the problem is like deploy a hell lot of sensors. This is like a sensor matrix you deploy inside the field, beneath the grass. You employ a lot of networking sensor modules. These sensors check out the parameters like temperature, moisture, and salinity. And one more thing that I wanted to add, that if this solution is chosen, you can add a pressure sensor to monitor the activity of the players on the ground. Instead of using cameras, you can have inbuilt pressure sensor underneath that monitor the activity of the players, so you know which side of the lawn is more used. Then there is wired sensors. In the first case, when you are deploying sensors, you need batteries attached to them, and those have shelf lives. Every time you cannot dig the grass for changing the battery or charging the battery. So you have instead a wired mat on which the sensors are placed, and you just take the output of those sensors from the ends of the wires which are outside the field. This basically, as I said, require no wireless transmission and thus no battery. Then there are another unconventional method that I thought of. Like in previous time, we saw that there are wire matrix with sensors on it. Here you use a grid of thin wires under the turf whose resistance can be measured. This is one of the parameters that you can make a lookup table for and check the temperature, moisture, and salinity. So this is just a wire mesh. This is what I did in my hostel room, like made my own FCB lawn, a small lawn. And then this is got a mesh which was in euros, like 1/4 of euros for 1 square feet. Then this is how you measure it. You make a sensor node at each of the ends and see which area of the lawn you want to measure. And you take those readings. Obviously, this is quite a crude model. You take those readings and check out if you water one side of the lawn, is the reading changing? Or if you do not water it, or if there is problem in the grass, is the reading changing? The second non-conventional method was, as you said, in previous method, you needed to dig the grass up, which is very costly, and also to deploy so many sensors. So another unconventional method is just have a lawn mower, which the field will obviously use to mow the grass. Retrofit it with a spectrometer. That spectrometer is basically just you have a small device which checks out the mowed grass for problems. So if you have a reference sample, that a grass which is a good greenkeeper would tell you that this is a good grass, you should take that data from the spectrometer and check it with a problem sample. You still see the shift, and you can detect that this grass has gone wrong. So the timeline, I would say, for this is, since I have no background in MindSphere or making apps, Feasibility studies will take 2 weeks, field test 1 week, integration and Mindspace in Mindspace and Edge to Web, because this is what I thought would be easier for me as a beginner, would take 2 weeks. But this is very a costly solution where you have to dig up the grass. A much easier way to deploy this would be a built-in spectrometer, whose retrofitting and designing would take 3 weeks, and integration, it's an ambitious claim, but it will take 2 weeks. So that's from me. Thank you.
Wow. All right. Durgesh. Thank you very much. A couple of solution ideas he presented. Our jury has the go now for some questions.
Well, thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
The timeline to me seemed to be, like you said, ambitious, but when you said you just had 10 hours to put all of that together, I think then maybe it's again realistic. So first of all, thank you very much for that, and I really liked also that a model what you showed with a grass, what you built there. I'm wondering, you mentioned you're a student. What is your motivation now here to participate in that challenge and also to develop that app for FC Bayern?
Oh, the motivation was quite simple, closer to the home. I am quite interested in agricultural sensors. I'm reading about, and I'm obviously doing my PhD in that direction, where I will be building sensors that will be helpful for agriculture. This arena gives me an opportunity to test that claim, test how good I am, if I'm able to deploy some kind of sensors like this in the field. So that was my motivation for it.
Thomas.
Thank you very much. Very impressive, and thank you for joining here from half around the world. I also liked your prototype. I hope you have still some room in your apartment. And I really like the idea of the pressure sensor. This is a new aspect the other weren't focusing on. What is your intention collecting data regarding pressure on the grass?
My intention is when you have players going around, or when you have activity of even mowers or rollers, there is difference in how the grass behaves. If, as you can see, the least treaded path will have more grass. So on that basis, if you have more activity in certain area or region of a field, the grass growing there would face different face different problems than where there is no activity. So instead of I think Arena also focused on in one of their issues that to monitor such a problem, you can have cameras deployed to do it in analytics way, but that will include image classification, etc. Here, simply having a sensors beneath the field will monitor the activity of players, monitor the activity of anybody where the grass is coming into contact for a longer time. That way, you can have nutrients and water distribution in such a way that if the grass is being the activity on the grass is high, you can actually help the grass to grow better.
This is the question, Lars.
Okay, so first of all, thank you very much. I think we are all quite happy that this topic also concerns people all around the world. So thank you very much for joining us. I got one question. You said that with your technology, you will try to make better predictions about the turf than the greenkeeper. How would you say, like, having access to those data can compete against, for example, lifelong experience of the greenkeeper?
Oh, so the lifelong experience of the greenkeeper will come into play in the data. It wouldn't be excluded from the data. Whatever data will be collected will go through the eyes of the greenkeeper. There you can actually say the greenkeeper will be one telling you that this is wrong, this grass may get problem, this grass may not get problem, this is a diseased grass. So you verify it according to the data you have received from the spectrometer or from the sensors you have deployed. So you are not excluding the greenkeeper, you are actually including him in the analysis. So his life experience is going to go into the analysis.
Okay, thank you. So from what I've understood is that it's rather a supporting system than...
Exactly.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, just a small question from my side. So I understood the retrofit of the lawn mower. For the wired mattress, you would still need to replace the grass or the green and then retrofit it, basically, correct? Okay.
Yeah.
one question. So you would like to correlate the data of the lawn mower with the resistance measurements you're doing with the grid, correct? So that you have...
So the retrofitting of the lawnmower is a completely different approach than the wire metrics. Wire metrics is where you have to remove all the grass. Retrofitting of the lawnmower is where you have your original, your normal lawnmower and have a spectrometer built into it. So you do not have to replace anything.
Okay, I understand. So these are two alternative approaches, could be also combined.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, all right.
Nice.
Are you aware of any sports clubs in India using a similar solution? For example, cricket is quite big in India. Are you aware of any club?
No, they do not use. They actually kind of see what you guys use, and then they deploy the same thing here. So these are not the. If there was a challenge here, something like that, I would have participated and told them about it.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay, so maybe a final question from my side. So, would you see yourself, or what would be your business model? Just are you interested in just getting this done and then working with the data, or would you then also become a operator of such an app, maybe a provider then also for Indian sport clubs?
Yeah, I would definitely like to take this big, but since I'm doing my PhD right now, it will obviously take about 3 to 4 years for completion. But my plan is to be an entrepreneur to provide such IoT solutions. This would obviously be included in one of these. As I said, I'm much more I'm rather interested in deploying agriculture sensors, because that's the biggest need in India right now. So obviously that will be a biggest need in the world too. But that is what my entrepreneurship would be about. I'll form a company to deploy sensors which are useful in agriculture fields.
Okay.
All right.
I hope I answered all of you correctly.
What a great motivation to become an entrepreneur also. Thank you very much for joining us. We are a big round of applause. Durgesh from India, our student, you're going to stay in the line, of course. Now you have the chance once again to vote for your favorite team. If you think Trevisto was the right team, go to siemens.com/vote now. If you think it was Digitalisiere Jetzt 42 GmbH, same. Siemens BT LLC, also, and you just heard Durgesh from India, also vote for him. Siemens.com/vote now. Our jury is going to take their time now, a couple of minutes to evaluate which solution would be best for FC Bayern and their green. And in the meantime, I'd like to get the other teams back on stage. That'd be great. Welcome back. Everybody from all teams. There we go. Welcome back. So, finally, it took a while. You've been waiting for this moment for a while now. So, now that it's all over, there's nothing left you can do. The decision is in the jury's hands. What do you say?
No, everything's fine.
Everything's fine?
Everything's fine.
Happy with the presentation?
Yeah, I am.
And is there anything you'd like to say into the camera to maybe some people watching? Is there anybody watching?
Oh, I guess so, yes. And hope they vote.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you for watching it. And I hope you like it.
Why is your solution the best? Why do you think?
I think because it's modular, you can exchange any part, and it would get really cheap. Yeah, I think it's really the best solution, and yeah.
All right. So if you think Daniel has the best solution, Digitalisiere Jetzt is the one to vote for. Alexander, so tell us a bit about how you felt now on stage.
It was really interesting case. And I think it's really good idea to find more information about mines here using case of real companies.
Are you into esports since you got since you had these ideas of deploying the data?
Maybe.
So what do you have to say to people that might be watching?
Welcome to Russia this summer to FIFA 2018.
Oh, that's a good one. All right.
Championship.
There we go. And why is your solution the best?
I think because I tried to do it not only about grass in data, but also about business models.
Okay, great. So if you think that also, then vote for Alexander and Siemens BT LLC. And you guys, Trevisto. So tell us a bit about how you felt here on stage today. You were the first ones.
Yeah, it's nice on stage. It's very loud from the background a bit, but it's really interesting standing here and feeling it. So yeah, everything is great now.
How did you guys like the other ideas?
They're very interesting. They had some similarity.
Mm-hmm.
using Earth sensors. What's the difference to our idea? But yeah, it's a good solution too.
And is there anything you'd like to say, maybe to the viewers out there, why they should vote for Trevisto?
First, I would like to greet our colleagues in Nuremberg and Berlin and all our friends watching. And yeah, why our solution is the best, I think because it's easy to implement and cost-effective.
And if you think so, go to siemens.com/vote now, Trevisto, the team to go for then in that case. So our jury is going to take a few more minutes until they get ready. Maybe I could go into the audience one more time. What are we doing? Oh, yeah. Oh, Durgesh. I'm sorry, Durgesh. Durgesh. So you also, how did you like it from afar?
It was very interesting. I kind of voted for one of my competitors. I like their solution too much. So if that's okay. The solutions were pretty good. I felt like hello?
Yes, we're here. We listen.
Yeah, I felt like a combination of solutions would be much better way to proceed than selecting just one solution.
All right. So maybe, is there anything else you'd like to say to the camera right now? Everybody's watching on the live stream.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
I'm from India.
Hi. Well, if you'd like to vote for Durgesh, then go to siemens.com/vote now. The winner of the online voting will be sent to the next MindSphere conference in Berlin in September. And we should have the results in soon. So I'm going to ask our MindSphere team in general. You saw most of the presentations here on stage, most of the challenges. How did you like it in general? Great? Yeah? All good? All good? And you also FC Bayern fan out there? We probably shouldn't talk about who's fan of what team here, should we? No, we shouldn't. But still, anyway, Magnus, how about you knew you were up now again, right? Yeah. So, actually, Magnus, you could tell us a bit about where you're not really from Munich, Bayern.
Zugereiste.
Yeah, Zugereiste. Where exactly?
Well, I'm living in Munich since many, many years, and I'm a huge fan of Bayern Munich.
But originally?
It's a place, if you translate it, it's called Sacrifice Valley. And it's behind the big mountain called Åre, where we go skiing in Sweden, and it's in the middle of pretty much nowhere.
So what are the biggest teams in Sweden?
The biggest teams?
Yeah.
I don't think we have a biggest team in Sweden. Actually, ice hockey is the thing. So I wonder if this solution would also apply for ice.
Who knows? That might be another challenge for the next time.
But one thing, we are in the World Cup, and there are some nations that are not. I'm not going to say any, but I don't want to.
Just saying.
We're in there.
Once again, we're not even going to get into that topic. We could probably talk about that for hours. So we're going to wait and see, and we have some results for the online voting coming in right now. Once again, the invitation to the MindSphere conference this September in Berlin. And the online voting goes to Trevisto. Trevisto, congratulations. Your tickets. Congratulations. And now we all need maybe 2 or 3 more minutes until we get the jury here. Is there anybody here who would like some jelly beans? We still have so many. I don't even know how many we still have here. So, yeah, huh? Let's get them out there. Let's keep the people. There we go. Would you like some jelly beans? Have you had the chance to try some yet?
No.
They're very tasty. They taste like actual fruit. I don't know what that one is, but this one is peach. That's a mixed one? All right. How about you, ma'am? There we go. You probably tested them all, right? Yes, of course. Yeah, you got to open it with a key or something. But also our assistants can help you with that if you want. So they're really taking their time over there, which is actually a good sign because obviously it's not that easy. And as we can imagine for a client like FC Bayern also, they're going to definitely take their time to see who is best, who fits for our solution, or who can provide the solution. But looks like I'm getting a thumbs up from the other side. They're getting ready to come over. And I think also our jury deserves a big round of applause because that really is not an easy job either. So can we get one round of applause for the jury here, ladies and gentlemen, coming back in now? Yeah. See, that always puts a smile on their face. That's what they live for, the applause. So, Sebastian, welcome back on stage. You want the microphone? I have one. Oh. Yeah, I have one.
You have one anyways. Okay. Interesting discussion. Really interesting discussion. First of all, I really liked all the presentations. Slightly different approaches here and there. I liked that there was communality also, somehow, with the light, with the spectrum. So that was really interesting to see. And I think we had a tough conversation somehow, right? Is it the solution that on the long run is more interesting? Is it a solution that we can implement now? Yeah. And we know our motto this year on the Siemens booth is implement now, right? Digitalization, implement now. So I think the solution that we have chosen, or the winner that we have chosen, is also from an innovations point of view, the solution that helps FC Bayern most.
Now, once again, the winner will receive the chance to work together with FC Bayern in the next step. But we also have another nice little goodie that we'd like to hand out to the winner. And that
maybe you want to join us on stage for this?
Just so you know what it is, while everybody's still here, a signed jersey from FC Bayern Munich with all players on front. Isn't that something to go for? Yeah. Yeah. All right. So this is also reserved for the winner. But now, Sebastian, we'd like to know.
Okay, I'll move over there again.
You move over there?
Okay. Can we get some love here?
Exactly. Let's act like we're in the Allianz-Arena. We're in Bayern now. It's only a few more minutes to go, a few more seconds. We got to get the atmosphere going up here. Where are the hands? Where are the voices? Let's go, fans. Come on. Come on.
Come on, keep going.
Everybody's out of breath. It's like, Let's go, Sebastian. Who's the winner?
Trevisto.
Trevisto! Congratulations. Also, thank you very much once again to India, to Durgesh, for a fantastic presentation, to our other developers here on stage. I think everybody would have had a fair chance here. One photo with Thomas. And Thomas, maybe you can give us one or two sentences, just really quick now, on why you think Trevisto has the best solution, in your eyes.
Yeah, as said, I think we can implement your idea very quickly. It's a great opportunity to gather additional data in order to help our greenkeeper to provide the best caring for the green. And I also like the idea and your vision with AI. Let's see where that goes. But as the motto is implement now, I think we can start implementing your idea in the next couple of months.
All right. So congratulations. Double win for Trevisto. And I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did, ladies and gentlemen. Did you have a good time here, audience? Yeah? Everything fine? Everything good? Good. And I hope you enjoyed it at home as well. Thank you for participating in the online voting. And once again, if any of the developers are watching who are here on stage, thank you all for your commitment. I think we all had a great time here at the Hannover Messe, thanks to you guys. Yes, we did. The jury, once again, thank you also. And be sure to tune in again maybe next time. I don't know. I don't think this was the last time. I can imagine. I had so much fun doing this. And we'll see what the future has to offer. To everybody else, have a great day or evening here at the Hannover Messe. There's still a few hours to explore. Stick around here at the Siemens booth if you like. And it was a pleasure being here with you once again. Bye-bye. Take good care.
Look how far we come now, 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 now. There's beauty in the unity we found. I'm ready. We still got a long way. But look how far we come now, 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 now. Hands up for your colors. Ready the people. A new day has just begun. And I wear my colors on my